Hi, I'm Ashish. Welcome to this introductory course on Gong Fu Tea. So as you can see, I have a Gong Fu Tea set up in front of me. And before we get into this, I just want to talk a little bit about how I came into tea. So 5 years ago, I ended up at a tea ceremony with who became my teacher. His name is Po. And it was such a profound experience for me on many different levels that I just was called to keep drinking tea. I kept sitting with him over and over again, like 3 times a week. And then ultimately I came to a place where I was comfortable enough and I wanted to start brewing for myself. And I remember when I first started brewing for myself, how nervous I was, how self-aware I became in trying to do this practice. And then I also remember how in doing that consistently over time, the tea started to teach me things. My subtlety of awareness in general in life changed. I started picking foods differently. I started hanging out at different places. And it's not anything that I was intending to do. It just kind of happened. And then at some point, I started brewing tea for others. And this opened up a whole nother area of learning about the energy of groups, learning how tea could be used to facilitate conversation. And so there's just a profound blessing that tea has brought into my life. And now I'm at the point where this is something that I want to share and pass on to others so that others who are interested can experience the same benefits of tea and the same self-transformational aspects that it brings. So to start, why Gong Fu? Okay, why the fundamentals of Gong Fu is that you're taking tea leaf and you're brewing it multiple times, as opposed to what we're used to in the West here of taking tea leaf and doing like a 5-minute steeping. So why do this? Why use an oven to cook something versus a microwave? Why watch a 2-hour-long movie instead of a trailer? These are some of the metaphors that I feel are related, because to me, yes, you could brew any of these teas for 5 minutes and you would get a particular brew. But the beautiful thing about brewing it multiple steepings, one by one, is it becomes a conversation. You learn to connect with the leaf. You learn to have an empathetic relationship where you feel, is that water too hot or too cold for the leaf? Is it too long or too short? It teaches you things. That listening practice, the practice of listening and sitting down and hearing what the tea has to say and hearing our responses and our awareness of how it works within the body, it opens up this whole new level of relationship with ourselves. At least that's been my experience. So now what I'm gonna do is just start brewing some tea. So we can introduce you to the cast of characters that you're gonna be working with throughout this course. So the first thing we're always dealing with in tea is tea leaf and water. So I have a kettle here to my right that I'm going to heat this water up in. And I have this is a yixing pot. There are all different kinds of pots that you can brew tea in. I have this glass pot here. I have a gaiwan, which is a very traditional type of vessel used to brew tea in China. The nice thing about this is you can brew the tea in it and you can actually drink directly out of it as well. And then there's just different shapes and different sizes of pots. So another yixing pot, but a different shape. And then this is a side handle pot. And tea is so sensitive that if we brew the same tea out of all these different pots, it will be different. So I'm going to put a little leaf in this pot. This is a 2005 Liu Bao tea. Liu Bao is an aged fermented tea. And you can see it has a dark color. It definitely looks old. And the energy of this tea is going to be very grounding. So we put it in the pot. Pour the water on the leaf. Feel into how long we want to let it brew. This is the beginning of the conversation. And especially with this tea, a Liu Bao or a pu'er, these aged teas, you can't make a mistake here. And this is why I like using these teas to start and teach people how to brew tea. Because you can't go wrong. So now we have a nice color tea that we can now drink. And here's an offering cup. And the importance of the offering cup for me is that you're honoring all of the things that brought the tea to this table. The tea makes such an amazing journey to come to the table, all the way from the places where it's grown, picked with care, processed with care, aged with care, flown to you, set on the table with all of these materials that you've gotten. People have made these pots by hand. The water comes from natural springs from the earth, and you're then combining the water to the leaf and bringing that leaf back to life after many years, and then you're drinking that brew. It's a very magical thing when you actually take some time to think about it. So the offering cup is to honor the fact that thank you so much for this tea. Thank you so much for this teacher. And this is something that my teacher, Po, taught me. And I want to dedicate this course to Po, because without him, I couldn't do this. And we couldn't be here together. And tea has had such a profound impact on my life. So I'm forever grateful to him for teaching me about this medicine and how to work with it. So as you can see, there's a number of things involved in brewing tea, and you can get more complex than this, and you can also get more simplistic. For example, some of the optional things that I use, but is not part of traditional Gong Fu, is this pitcher and this filter. This is a filter made from a gourd, and you can see close up here that there's actually a little film there so that it catches leaf. But traditionally, in Gong Fu, what would happen is this is what's called a tea boat that I'm resting my cups and my pot on. And you can see here, there's slots in it. And so the water can flow through there into a receptacle so that as things are getting messy with water, as they often do in tea, they will just flow through and be caught in the boat. So traditionally in Gong Fu, what you might see people doing is to pour the water on the leaf, and then let it brew as long as it needs to brew. And then when you're pouring, you would pour across the cups like this, or in whatever style that you want. Different movements will evoke different energies. But the reason you don't do just one cup and then the other cup is because the tea will steep at different rates. So the tea at the bottom is actually going to have brewed longer than the tea at the top. So if you just pour one cup first, it's not going to be a consistent brew. One cup will be brewed longer than the other. So for me personally, I actually I opt to use this secondary vessel and pour into there for two reasons. One, it collects any leaf, so my brew is clean. And two, it mixes it uniformly automatically just by the fact that it's in this pot. Okay, so now that we've gone over that introduction, I think we're ready to dive in and learn about each one of these individual components.